Georgetown Eagles, Wally Harmon.
Welcome to SHN Sports presentation of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live from the campus of Georgetown High School. We're not at the Golden Rule tonight, but we do appreciate the Golden Rule and all they've done for us. They do continue to sponsor the Georgetown Eagle Nation Coaches Show each and every week. Tommy McCormick, Cody Hurt, they make it easy for us here at SHN. And so tonight we changed it up. The curveball was thrown to us Sunday or Monday. Coach Griffin reached out and said, hey, it's a weird week. Let's do something different. And so tomorrow night we play at Pflugerville against Hendrickson at the Field on Pecan Street, 1825. And so now JV playing tonight here at home. And so we're doing it live from the field. We're right here watching JV Blue, I believe it is, playing right now against Cedar Ridge. And then immediately following, it'll be the JV Silver team taking on Hendrickson High School. Right in our background is the Georgetown Athletic Complex, Burke-Olbach Field. We'll be back there next Friday night for homecoming against the Leander Lions. Kelly DeVoll, Dave England here with me tonight. And what a night, boys. It's a beautiful night to be out here, something different to bring to everyone. We'll visit with Coach Griffin here in just a second. But an opportunity, this team to face some more adversity. A short week, a tough game against a good A&M Consolidated Tigers team on Friday night, a tough loss, and now a short week. It's time to put it behind you, move on, and to an athletic, talented Hendrickson Hawk team who are going to be on their turf on Thursday night. A short week, these kids got to prepare, get ready for it, and go to battle tomorrow night.
Yeah, and you saw them battle back again like they did against Liberty Hill. They battled back last week against A&M Consolidated. So you got some things that you can build on from those two games. You've got some things that you obviously need to work on from those two games. I feel quite sure the coaches have gotten on that. And these boys have got to be excited to get back. It's one game, and you can't let that game beat you a second time. You have everything is still ahead of you. I don't know that any team is going to go through this district this year without a loss. So we played one of the, if not the top team in the district, played them in a pretty good fight. Boys fought hard. And, you know, a couple of different bounces go a different way here and there. We're in that game with a chance to win that game in the fourth quarter. You bounce back. You got 6 more games to go. You can't let A&M Consolidated beat you twice.
And you turn that around against a Hendrickson Hawk team who is fighting, having a good season. They're an athletic team. The quarterback returns after a full year last year, and so he'll have a lot of experience there. A good running back coming out, and some line play that you'll see. Some big boys for the Hawks, and so an opportunity for this Georgetown team to respond. But on the road, some more adversity to face. But they have that mindset, Dave, each and every week. It's 1-0. We want to go 1-0. Put it behind you, like Kelly said. Now that's over. We face the adversity. We work on it. And now we're back to work tomorrow night against a Hendrickson Hawk team ready to – they want to get that win against this G team.
Right, Wally. At this age, the student-athletes, they're just very resilient, and they always bounce back. We've got a short week, so you've got to have short-term memory loss here and bounce back. And, you know, there's no reason why we can't put all the pieces together. There's just some little mistakes that we need to fix and shore up the run defense, and we'll be just fine. So
the Eagles right now in this ball game lead at 20-7. Right, we were about to go live. The Eagles scored a touchdown here in the corner of the end zone. The receiver went up and grabbed it, took it away. Beautiful reception.
Reminded back of my playing days.
And lost track.
That shut the show down.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back next week live from the Golden Rule.
How do you follow that?
But and then Coach Griffin talking about it's one of the talented athletic receivers, young receivers that will be a part of this varsity team next year. You're going to lose Drayden Dickman. You're going to lose Marquise Dominguez to graduation as Drayden Dickman moves on to right now as his commitment to Rice University. And so a lot of talent on the outside leaving at the end of this year. But getting to watch tonight and see some of these JV receivers as they get their work in.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to see that right there in that play he made. And so right now they finally got a player up off the field for Cedar Ridge. So hopefully he's all right. But the Eagles going at it right now here live at Georgetown High School. And so a brand new week. The challenges put aside. You schedule a tough non-district schedule for that reason, to face some adversity, to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
And this team was challenged, and they held well in it. 2-1 record against a tough loss against a dominating, a very good Liberty Hill team. And I was listening to the stats this week about them talking about Liberty Hill. One running back this week for over 200 yards. It wasn't Noah Long. That offense has so many weapons, and so a good opportunity for this team to face that, and then to come in against the first district opponent, A&M Consolidated, a top team in the state. College Station still on the schedule to come. Luckily, it's at home as well against them. And here comes to the corner of the end zone, and that'll be another touchdown for your Georgetown Eagles, taking it all the way to the house there. Number 23 puts it on the board.
We might have to come out here more often.
I tell you what.
This is fun.
What a run there.
I'm excited about this next week. You go back, you think about all the talent that we have on defense and on offense. We've got a great running back. We've got wide receivers, and we've got a quarterback that, has a deep threat. And so we've got opportunity there. You get excited about the coaching playbook and how it opens up. So
and especially getting a week and a start under the belt of Noah Boris coming in at quarterback in place of Tucker Griffin, who's injured, he stepped up and had a really good game, threw for over 300 yards, and so a good performance by Noah in his first start. And a tough one. I tell you what, if you're going to baptism by fire, that was it against an A&M Consolidated team to bring him in. He faced the pressure, made some good throws. Drayden Dickman made some good catches, over 100 yards receiving. But A&M Consolidated put the clinches on the run game and held Andrew Petter under control in the run game, and that forced Noah Boris in the offense to go to the air, and he responded well.
Well, and when you look at the schedule, and we did it, and I don't know to what extent, if any at all, the coaches do it, the players do it, but we look at the schedule and we go, okay, this group of games we should win, no question. This group of games going to be pretty evenly matched, battle, win those games. And then these games, one or two here and there, nobody expects you to win. So if you go out and fight and you do win, that's a big deal. If you don't, you learn, you grow, and you move on. This was one of those games, and Coach Griffin even talked about it whenever we interviewed him, talking about the comparison was drawn of the Alabama-Texas game. Nobody expected Texas to hang with Alabama like they did, and they did. Nobody expected Georgetown to be in that game in the fourth quarter, and we were. So you build on that, you move on. Everything is still ahead of you. Everything you want to accomplish in district is still there. So you keep fighting.
And you look at our district last year, and it was one of those. You play. Who are we playing this week? Oh, man, we should get a win here. We should get a win here. We should get a win here. This will be a tough game. You get the new district alignment, and you go, this is a tough district.
This is tough.
You're going to fight every week.
Well, and we were blessed. They came to our house. It's always tough playing at Birkelbach, and we have hella good coaches, and we've got a lot of talent. So that's why we're always in every game. So,
absolutely. And you had a good crowd. That's the thing is you talk about the hometown crowd, the home field advantage. Georgetown makes that apparent. And these kids have the blue crew, as they call it here.
They showed up.
I tell you what, I saw the tweet last night from the principal, Mr. Johnson, at the turnout at the volleyball game. The student body this year is just doing a fantastic job of creating an environment for these players to perform and to be entertained by. And you see those players are going to remember that. And this crowd comes out and shows out wearing their it was a blackout on Friday. Now this week we're going to be in all silver at Hendrickson. And so just a different look. But that crowd, luckily this year, not much distance to travel. Right. These kids travel. This crowd travels. And so it'll be fun to watch tomorrow night as we go to Hendrickson.
Tip of the cap to the Blue Crew, the student section, like you were talking about. Every organization in this school and any school has good years, has bad years, and the students are no different. Some years the students are better than other years. I'm not saying they're bad some years, but some years are just better
and more involved.
And this group this year of students, I have seen participation from like I haven't seen since about 2017, 2018.
Yeah, the start of the third quarter, the whole booth is rocking back and forth because as soon as they start jumping up and down there, our whole booth rocks.
It's fun.
Shout out to the band over here. If you hear them in the background,
our producer did not like that movement in the booth, but that's okay.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and we're going to have head coach Chuck Griffin join us live here on the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, brought to you by the Golden Rule. But tonight, live here on the campus of Georgetown High School, JV Silver Blue going right now in their ball game, leading 26-7 here in the third quarter. We'll take a quick time out. Be back with Coach Griffin. You're listening to Eagle Nation Coaches Show live on SHN.
The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Eats, drinks, unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
Maybe you might look closer.
And we're back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show on the campus of Georgetown High School tonight for a special presentation of the Coaches Show, because tomorrow night we'll be on the road to take on the Hendrickson Hawks at the field in Pflugerville. And Coach Griffin now joins us. Coach, thanks for coming out tonight. It's a great idea. It's fun to watch these kids as they battle tonight. The short week, what kind of challenge does that present to your team as you get ready for tomorrow night, instead of having that one extra day on a Friday night game to be ready for tomorrow night to take on Hendrickson?
You know, it just shortens the week a little bit. You've got to pay a little bit more attention to how much you're on the practice field, but you still got to get everything covered. That's kind of one of the reasons we'll do tonight. We had a short walkthrough practice this afternoon to kind of finish some things up, and with that and the team dinner and the games going on, I knew it'd be hard-pressed to get anybody over to Golden Rule tonight. So that was one of the reasons we wanted to come here. And so our kids could a lot of them are over there on the sideline so they could participate in the game as well over here in the radio show.
You guys had a tough week. A good A&M Consolidated team came in, and this team didn't stop fighting. One thing that we were talking about throughout the after the ball game in our closing was just the fact that this team will not stop fighting. You can get them in a hole. The changes are made. They respond, and they keep fighting and stay in these ball games. What are they taking from these? Are they getting discouraged, or are they continue to, hey, next one, we got to move on. Let's go 1-0 this week?
Yeah, no, I think they're growing and they're learning, and that's what we want them to. I mean, that's why we picked a challenging game like Liberty Hill, and you know, we bit off probably one of the best teams, if not the best team in our district, first right out of the box. So, you know, our kids are learning from that. We got to figure out how to start in those games. You know, both games we've dug ourselves a big hole and had to climb back, and both games climbed back within 7 in the fourth quarter, but we just haven't been able to start, and so we're learning from that, and that's been the challenge. You know, I told them this caliber of team is a lot of times what we face in the second round of the playoffs. You know, a top 10 team, and we faced a top 10 team the last 2 weeks. So, all right, if you want to play at that level, these are the things you got to do to get better, and you've got to learn how to do that. Like, you can't just say, man, keep getting close, You got to figure out how to get better, and we got to get better as coaches. Our kids got to take on things, responsibilities, and get better in practice in the way they handle things. So we've just seen it as a challenge, and that's what we're working on.
Coach, is there an advantage to having a team like A&M Consolidated when they're in your district at having them at the beginning of the district schedule instead of down the road after you're nicked up and dinged up a little bit more, or does it really matter?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of the coaching mentality. You just find a way to make your schedule fit your narrative, you know, because we don't have any control over it. We have control over the first 3 games, but the rest is controlled by the UIL, so it's whatever you get. So you got to find out how to make your narrative fit to the schedule that you have. And so for us, it was good. Got a challenge right out of the box, kind of see where we stood. All right, they're one of the best teams in the district. That's where we stand. Let's figure out how to get better. And by week 10, let's be as good as they are. You know, so that's the mindset that you got to carry into the rest of the district.
And that was really the origin of the question, because our boys went toe-to-toe with one of the top teams in the district, one of the top teams in the state, really.
Yeah.
And they could play with them. They could hang with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Weren't blowing off the field, so.
Yeah.
You know, that's got to serve you well.
But the last 2 weeks, both times, even that game the other night, we're down 21-0 in the first quarter, and there's been plenty of times in my career that you lose those games by 40. But our kids fought back and got in that game and kind of went toe-to-toe with them. And so we just learn from that, grow from that, get better. We got out of the game without anybody really being injured, which is good for us. And, trying to get ready for a good Henderson Hawks team in a short week. We got a couple of these this year. The Glen will be the same thing on a Thursday night. And those are always a little challenging. It gives you some extra time for next week. It gives you an extra day to prepare, but you're a day behind in this week. So presents some challenges, but in Central Texas, we're kind of used to that. We have through that from time to time if you end up in one of those multi-school shared stadiums. Yep.
Yeah. So we're about getting close to halfway through the season.
Yep.
What are you excited about? What are you surprised that you didn't expect in the offseason that you're seeing out of this team that's got you excited, both offense or defense?
I don't know that I'm seeing much that I didn't expect. I'm excited about the way our defense is playing. I think we're playing good. I think we're running the football. We played some really good people last week, and so that made it challenging. And they made us pay for a few missed tackles. So. But I think overall we played a really good team. I think, so I'm proud of where our defense is. I'm proud of our running game and what we're doing. And offensively, we had a tough road to hoe last week, and that I told the Booster Club the other night that's probably the best defensive line we faced since Richmond Foster in 2019. Like there wasn't anything we could do to run the ball. I mean, we were scheming, we were plotting, we were figuring out, and we just couldn't move them. And they had some guys in the back end that could make plays and allow their defensive front to get up, and not everybody has that capability. I use the viewpoint of Drayden. Drayden ran 2 4.39s on the year. I mean, this dude's fast, right? But they're good enough. We threw the ball over the top, and most teams he goes and scores, and they were still able to tackle us. And it's not a knock on Drayden. It's a knock on it's how good they were in the back end. So that makes it tough. But I'm really proud of them. Noah did a great job stepping in last week and stepping in for Tucker in his first start and being in a tough situation, a tough game, and he did really good. And so that's good. And that's our expectation too. We got a long line of quarterbacks that go back to Tyler Moore and Morgan Micken, and I mean I think I can name them all if you give me long enough. And you get into the Chandler Hermans and Ben Bottlingers and Cooper Bells and and all those guys and Tucker's one of those and then all of a sudden you've got Noah that'll be the next one. So he stepped in and did a really good job.
So you talked about their defensive line. Our offensive line, getting off the bus looks really good.
Oh yeah,
and they're really gelling so far.
Yeah.
How does that work for your maturity of your offensive line facing a really solid D line?
I mean, they learn how good they got to be. We are good and we're running the ball for 250 plus a game, and then all of a sudden you face a team that can shut you down. Okay, we got to get better, right? We can't rest on laurels, and we got to get better and go back to work. So I think that's good for them to see that and understand that's the level of play that if we want to be a deep run playoff team, that's the level of play that we got to get to.
You talk about a week like A&M Consolidated and a baptism by fire for Noah Boris. His first start at varsity level comes at the hands of A&M Consolidated.
Yeah.
The coaching staff, what do y'all take from that? We thought Noah had a great performance in his first start. How much does he grow in a game like that as his first game is that challenging against an opponent like that as he now looks towards start number 2 tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean.
I do say he starts tomorrow night, correct?
Yes.
Tucker's still out.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Tucker's
We're
still out.
hoping for a miracle, but we just got to
ask.
Yeah,
we got one. It's still down the road a little bit, but he's doing good in his recovery and working hard. It's a broken bone. It's just patience, is the biggest virtue, which he or I don't have very much. We're not blessed with that. But
I see your wife nodding in agreement.
Yeah. But
I'm guessing somebody at that house does, though.
Yeah, Mama does. So, well, Noah did a great job, and like I said, that's the expectation, and he rose to it. So, we fully expect him to keep growing and take ownership in what he's doing and take ownership in the offense because that's what he's supposed to do. We would expect the same thing out of Tucker last year, and just the list goes on and on. So that's the expectation, and he's risen to the challenge, and we expect him to continue that.
The guys didn't see this, but when I was on the sideline for the first half, I really enjoyed watching Tucker right there between you and Coach Beatty. You know, you could tell he's so experienced, knows what he's doing, and he's polished, and he's kind of throwing out little things to y'all. You know, not trying to get, you know, it was fun to. I could almost see like coaching in his future. I could kind of see that. I was like,
he gets it. Yeah,
smart.
I mean, our quarterbacks spend a lot of time watching film, and there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. More so than anybody else. You know, just because of what they have to do. And Coach Beatty does a tremendous job getting them ready. So they've got a really good handle on the game plan going in, and Tucker's trying to stay active in that, you know, from that role. So for him to be able to get out there and just help calm Noah's nerves a little bit, to help talk him through some stuff in between snaps, and to know what's going on, and, you know, even to give me or Beatty what he sees.
Yeah.
You know, that's good stuff.
That's awesome.
We go on to Hendrickson at home tomorrow night at the field there on Pecan in Pflugerville. What do we look for out of Pflugerville? Hendrickson usually a pretty athletic team. Yeah. Maybe not the old dominant years that they've had before, but always an athletic, competitive team. What do you guys see from them tomorrow night?
You know, Coach Pierce has done a good job. He's new. He's a coordinator there last year, and Chip retired this past year, so Coach Pierce has stepped up, and you know, they're really athletic. They're going to be an athletic football team, pretty big in the offensive line. You know, so they're going to try to run the football. They've got a good little running back. Quarterback has a lot of experience. He was a starter last year, and he's back. They get a good little receiver that plays some corner too, is out on the edge. And, you know, defensively, just pretty solid up front. You know, they play 3-4 defense, and they're just pretty solid up front. So, man, we got our work cut out for us. We got to go play well. You know, but we feel pretty confident in our plan and what we're doing, and feel confident in our kids and how they've been responding, how they've been playing.
We're going to get to talk to Leo Diaz here in a minute, but talking about Leo and Thomas Scholes and the defensive backfield, they faced some pretty good receivers. Especially this past week, A&M Consolidated, even at one point getting under that skin, getting inside the head of one of their receivers, costing him a penalty. Talk about the defensive backfield. Leo came in and played significant minutes last year, getting called up during the season, and now a starter. Him and Thomas Scholes seem to be flying to the ball. A lot of action out of those two, and in the defensive backfield as a whole. How are they coming through this year?
They're responding really well, just to what we're doing defensively in our scheme, and you know, Thomas has done a really good job, and as well as Gabriel DeNova. I mean, he started every game last year for us, and has just continued to be really, really just solid. And then Colin Casey at our other corner, and a few other guys. You've seen O.C. Presley in there and a few other guys throughout the year. And those guys just continue to grow and get better. And, you know, we want to keep getting some turnovers. You know, that's the goal out of those guys in the back end.
Next week is homecoming. After this game, we play Leander at home. Is that going to be beneficial? Come back home, have an extra day for the week to help these kids that we know on a busy week like that at homecoming. The activities at the school are going. These kids have to stay focused, but yet there's a lot to draw their attention. How key is next week going to be on that for these kids to stay focused? Leander, a different team this year.
Yeah.
Leander, I liken Leander to Kansas, what Kansas is doing this year.
Yeah.
Leander, very few victories last year, if any. And now 3-1 as they come into district in their first district game last week, but another team. How important is that going to be after a short week this week to have that extra day on a week that's so distracting for these boys next week?
You know, first of all, on the distraction, we just talk about, look, hey, your job is to win the football game. Like, that's your job. You know, the rest of it, that's for everybody else. You know, that's the main thing we take into the week. And it's a little different. You know, next week is our fall break, so there's a 4-day weekend. You know, so to kind of combat that, they're doing the homecoming dances this Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Kicking off the week. So actually that helps us a little bit. That gets it out of the way before we start. You know, so there's a lot less activities once the week goes
off
on.
The 7th.
They're off with Leander, and then the following Monday. Yeah. So they're off. I got a 4-day weekend. So, you know, that actually kind of helps us a little bit, I think, through the week is go ahead and get that out of the way while we don't have them anyway, and you know, make good decisions and you know, and take care of your teammates and those kind of things over the weekend, and then get ready to come back and have a great week and get ready for a good Leander team.
Make good choices.
Make good choices. One of the best lines ever.
Hey, JV Blue won this game 26-13. So congratulations to those boys.
Yep.
Good hard-fought victory.
Those guys have done a really good job.
And now JV Silver will take the field next against Hendrickson's JV team.
Correct.
It's one thing that we were talking about before we went on. the fact that this program every year has 5 teams, and to find schools that have 5 teams across the board to put in games, and so to find a game tonight for the JV Blue to get to play, it's just awesome that this program continues to supply the quantity of players that can put a product on the field like this. Does that make it a bigger challenge for you coaches then? This many numbers and this many
I mean,
kids
is
want
it
to
a
play?
challenge? Yes, it is. We got 3 hired 40 coaches, and 3 of them had no Georgetown experience. So when they got here, they were all amazed at how much time and energy we spend with our young teams. But I think that's what helps us grow. That's what helps us get better. You take a guy like you're about to have Logan Gegelman on, and he's a starter as a senior. And that's the first time he's been a varsity player because he got to play as a freshman, play as a sophomore, and play as a junior, and now that he's ready to play. So, I think we have that story every year of a guy who was a B-teamer and then a B-teamer, and then he played again, and then all of a sudden he's a varsity starter. Jeremiah Phillips last year was playing for, defending national champions Mary Baylor. Was the same way and didn't start until he's a senior. So having 5 teams helps those guys develop. It helps us keep guys around because they're playing. There's 40 kids out there playing tonight, and they all get to play, and they all get out in the game, and so that keeps them around, keeps them energized, and helps us as we go.
Do you sometimes make decisions about who you bring up the varsity and who you leave down based on you don't want them to come up and sit on the bench on Friday night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thursday get some good PT.
And even between the 2 JV teams, and that can be a tough pill to swallow for some of our guys to say, hey, we need you to stay down. But the reason we need you to stay down is we have somebody in that position, the team above you, and a position of team above them, and we need you to play so that you can have a chance to play on the varsity as soon as possible.
And
so
you're not sitting the bench. You're getting reps, you're getting stronger,
there's a lot that goes into that, and we meet every January. We meet and we talk about all 200 plus kids in depth and about where they fit, where we project them to be, where they're going to be, and kind of go from there and try to map it out. And we don't always knock it out of the park. Sometimes we miss on a kid or we get something wrong. But most of the time we do a pretty good job of getting those kids where they need to be so they have some success. And the goal is when they're a varsity starter, and ideally you like for it to all be seniors. That way you got great depth, and those kind of things. But it doesn't always work out that way. But when you're a senior, man, you're ready to go because you've got great experience.
Well, let's take a timeout. Coach Griffin's been with us here live at Georgetown High School. JV Silver will be taking the field here. They'll start warming up here in any minute for their action here tonight. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with Logan Gegelman and Leo Diaz live here on the Eagle Nation Coaching Show. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back here on SHN. We're back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, live from Georgetown High School. JV Silver warming up right now, getting ready to take on the Hendrickson Hawks. The JV Blue victorious 26-13 in their battle tonight. And then just got to visit with head coach Chuck Griffin, and now let him go do some scouting of his own, watching the JV take on their opponent. And now we're joined by one of the big O linemen. Logan Gegelman joins us tonight. Logan, starting your senior year, we just talked to Coach about it. We're gonna go back to freshman, sophomore, junior. As you come through the system, as you go through it, is this the end goal? Hey, my senior year, I'm going to start and dominate. That's the goal. I want to be there. And what was it like fighting all the way through to get to this point in your senior year?
Yes, sir. It was hard going against scout team, going against the ones every day, and you have no choice but to get better every day.
Getting beat up on by the ones each and every week as you go through from freshman to JV and continuing to battle your way up to get to this where Georgetown historically has a lot of seniors, and to battle and to get a starting position is a tough job. To get it on your senior year, how fulfilling is that to be able to end the senior run as we're running through your senior season, to be one of those starters that has earned his spot as he's fought his way through all of high school?
It feels so nice to be starting online with my other teammates that I've worked through with my whole years.
This year's been challenging. Last couple of games have been challenging for you guys. Has it caused you guys to pull together and work harder together as a group? Has it frustrated you and make you want to give up? What's been the feeling? A tough Liberty Hill opponent, a tough A&M Consolidated, and as you get ready to take on Hendrickson tomorrow night, what has this done for this O-line, this starting group, to in response to these this adversity?
Oh, we pulled together for sure, and what happens in the past, that does not affect how we practice and how we will play tomorrow.
Does it push you guys to work harder to be ready for the next one?
Yeah.
You faced a tough A&M Consolidated D-line. What did you take away from that experience?
Oh, we got to be able to run the ball, for sure, and yeah.
What did they show you as one of the probably top-ranked D-lines in the state? What did you, as an O-lineman in your position, what are some of the things you took away from that and can build on for the rest of the season?
We got to be able to knock them in the mouth in the first half of the game, because in the second half we did pretty good about that. But yeah.
The last 2 weeks talking about that in Liberty Hill and then against A&M Consolidated, getting punched in the nose right off the beginning. Two teams that attack from the get-go and find yourselves in a hole, but you guys come out and battle in that second half. Has that been like the theme now, to try to stop that from happening in the first half as we go into this game, and to try to flip that script and be the one that punches someone in the face before you get caught with one?
Oh yeah, Coach has been talking about it, and we've been changing our game plan about that.
Future plans for Mr. Gegelman after high school? What's the plans for Logan?
I'm not really sure. I'm gonna go to college.
Are you looking to play football from this point, or?
Not really. I'm gonna focus on my academics.
All right. Any idea what you're gonna study?
I'm going to pharmacy.
Pharmaceutical. Hey, pharmacist, a great career to go into. Several friends that went to UT, and great programs, great people. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out to Dennis and my boy Juan Salazar.
All righty. Logan Gegelman, the starting lineman for your Georgetown Eagle, joins us tonight. Quick break. We'll be back with Leo Diaz. You're listening to the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live on SHN. We're back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, live at Georgetown High School as the JV Silver gets ready to take on the Hendrickson Hawks in tonight's battle here live on the campus of Georgetown High School tonight. We're not at the Golden Rule. We're outside Mother Nature. What a beautiful night for high school football. Tomorrow night, your Georgetown Eagles will be on the road to take on the Hendrickson Hawks at the PUF Field on 1825 Pecan Street. 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll be live about 6:15, 6:20 with the pregame. Come and join us live there at the field, not far here from Georgetown. Just a little hop, skip, and jump down the road to come on and set another home crowd expectation. This Georgetown Eagle crowd travels well. And now we're joined by Leo Diaz. Leo, speaking of that, the student body this year seems to be showing out for you guys. The turnout each and every week to have a big crowd. What does that do for you players? How much do you guys, one, notice that and enjoy having that crowd to perform for?
Yes, sir. It's definitely a great feeling, seeing everybody at the school show up at the games and really getting you hyped up. We always talk about it all the time that kind of really gets us going for the games.
You're coming into your first full year on varsity. Last year you came up, got pulled up pretty quick.
Yes, sir.
And kind of shoved into some duties. And now as a starter this season at the defensive backfield, one of the quarterbacks, and we were just chatting before we got on about the game against A&M Consolidated. Faced off against a top receiver in this district, maybe even in the state. He's going to Colorado. And you did a job of getting inside that helmet with him, and you kind of got him to the point there. He gets mad. You broke up on a post play. He ends up kicking the ball, getting his flag, and you just saw the frustration in his head. How much fun is that for you in there on knowing you're taking on someone challenging? You've studied them, you're ready for them, and then to know you're getting into their head.
Yes, sir. I love that. I honestly love that. When I'm going, I'm not really wanting to start something, but if you start talking back, you better bring your A game because I'm going to be right there.
Last year, getting pulled up, kind of baptism by fire, throwing in, hey, welcome to varsity, now get out there and help us out. What did that do to prepare you for this year? To be one of the starters on defense, and to be one of the leaders on this defensive team. What did last year do for you to help prepare you for that?
Yes, sir. It definitely opened up a lot to me, letting me know that, hey, there's a lot of stuff I need to work on, being a better player, being a better leader. And that definitely did get me ready because, as I see the sophomores being moved up, I tell them, hey, I've been in that position before, and, if you ever need someone, I'm right there with you.
Did that change your off-season workouts this summer, knowing kind of that level when you got jumped into it as a sophomore and now to your junior season, to help you prepare for it, knowing the challenges as you got thrown in?
Yes, sir. I definitely did take my off-season a lot more serious this year, and, still going on, still training. I feel like I've just been doing a really good job on there.
In your off season, were you going against Dickman?
Yes, sir, I was.
That's
someone I knew every day. Hey, he's gonna get me better, and he's just a really great guy, and he always helps me out with that.
Each week, you're gonna grow. You're gonna learn. You're gonna pick up something each week.
Yes, sir.
Facing that A&M Consol team, what did you pick up this last week that you can use the rest of the season in your career?
I definitely did become more comfortable in the man position. Just being one-on-one on the island. I know, I'm way better at that, and just being in that week, that kind of proved it.
In a situation for you, last year, you're pulled up from JV as the season went on, come to varsity. Now you turn around and look here today and this year as you're a senior, a junior, starting on this team, to be a leader to guide these guys, as obviously their goal is to be where you are, and to be on a varsity team starting where these guys are. What does that help you be in a leader to them, not just on the varsity team, to your teammates that you go to war with each and every Thursday and Friday night, but to these kids as they're trying to work to get to where you are? How has that helped you be a better leader throughout the whole program?
Yes, sir. I definitely think that does help me because I have been there before, and especially in practice, if one of the JV players is asking me a question about something, I'm always there to kind of help them with it because I understand what they're going through.
As we look at it and see one of the leaders on this defense, even as a junior, a returning starter, you got another year to go of this, and this defense is new this year. You
Yes,
came
sir.
in the middle with Coach Patterson. Now you have Coach Nicky. The battle into change schemes, to change direction, to change coaching styles. They're two different people. Coach Nicky with this energy that never stops, the go. What's your challenge that you're going to try? I guess for yourself, to go through your junior year, yet when you come back as a senior, you're one of the senior leaders, a 2 or 3 year starter on this team. How does that challenge you to become the best that you can be as a leader and as a player?
It definitely does challenge me a lot. Seeing Nikki every day, bringing that energy, I always try to just match that, and especially next year, I know I might have to be one of those to bring that every day.
Hendrickson tomorrow night. what do we expect out of them for defensively for you guys? Any big receivers that you know you're going up against? What are y'all looking at?
They have some good receivers. They got a good back, but we've game planned for them all week, and we were ready for them.
In the defensive backfield with you, Colin Casey on the other side. Thomas Scholes has been out there, been active this year at safety position, a couple of picks. What's the trash talk between the defensive backs and who's leading interceptions and you guys challenge each other to be better and to as a team?
Yes, sir. There definitely is a lot of trash talking with that, especially coming back from the Vista Ridge game. We always go back to that, and we always just push each other every day. Like, hey, you got to get that in game. We're like, we got to get it.
Thomas doing a good job stepping up. You guys, you and Colin Casey on the opposite side. You guys gelling well in the defensive backfield. It seems like the defensive line stepped up. They went and embodied that team amongst themselves, the linebackers. It seems like you guys have gelled pretty well in the back, and it's all new guys for the most part, outside of yourself being one of the starters to come back, but losing the safety last year, losing several people. How has that helped with you guys? How have y'all gelled and worked with that, knowing you had a new scheme with Coach Nicky?
We definitely did become close, especially last year. We all three were there, and we kind of just I was with Scholes for a while, and then being moved up, being with Colin. We always had that relationship, and especially during the offseason, we kind of built that bond a little stronger, and it definitely did make it a lot easier being in the backfield with them.
Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out to the defense. Shout out Dredo. Shout out Dustin. Shout out Bam. If you knew better, you move better.
Leo Diaz joins us. Take a quick time out. Come back and rack things up. You're listening to the Eagle Nation Coaches Show live here on SHN. Thanks, brother. We're back here live at the Eagle Nation Coaches Show at Georgetown High School. JV Silver doesn't waste any time getting on the board. They take a 6-0 lead on a quick out pass that was taken to the house. That was a beautiful one.
Good play.
He got hit on the far sideline. made one-man miss. Extra point is good. 7-0 lead for JV Silver. Man, he took it down that sideline. No one could catch him.
Who's number 8? Do you know?
Oh, man.
Okay.
No. Gavin Sedgwick.
Gavin Sedgwick.
All right.
Davin Sedgwick.
Davin Sedgwick took
Davin.
it to the house. So JV
He
Silver.
changed numbers on me, so I was like, man, what did he change to? So
Davin Sedgwick takes that quick out there on the far sideline, made one man miss, and it was a foot race, and it was pretty much a one-man race as he took it to the house. So JV Silver jumps up 7-0. JV Blue 26-13. They were victorious in the first game. The reason we're here tonight, live here at the field, tomorrow night the varsity is on the road to take on the Pflugerville Hendrickson Hawks at the field on 1825 Pecan through Pflugerville. Come out tomorrow night, 7 o'clock kickoff. You can be there. If not, live here on SHN. But now the Eagle Football Booster Club Minute with Mr. Jimmy Warren joins us tonight. What do you got for us? I know we had a Booster Club meeting on Monday night.
we did.
This week we're on the road, so you guys always do a great tailgate. People meet up. What's the plans this week?
Yeah, this week we've at 5 o'clock, right off 685 in Pflugerville. We're eating at Growlers. We're meeting there at Growlers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 5 o'clock, little pub, bar, good food there. So we're going to tailgate there starting at 5 o'clock. Get us served pretty quick. When we get out of there, get to the game.
Get right down to the stadium. 7 o'clock Thursday night. It's pretty cool, too. It's going to be KBVO's game of the week. Roger Wallace and Keith Moreland.
Keith Moreland.
Roger Wallace, a buddy of mine. We grew up and went to church together, his family, our kids, and his daughter. And so great guy. I love Roger Wallace. So KBVO will have the game live on TV for the local audience that can't be there, but we'll have it live on SHN, 6:15, 6:20 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff live on SHN. Then the following week is homecoming. What's the plan? I'm going to be gone. Kelly DeVoll will be on the call with that. And Nathaniel Funk, one of the previous coaches here at Georgetown back in the day, is going to be on the call with him along with Dave England next week. It'll be homecoming. What's the plans homecoming week? Another tailgate here at home?
Yeah, we'll have a tailgate here at home, homecoming week. I know things are a little different. I think they're having the homecoming dance Saturday.
Yeah,
and
this week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday, and then we have no school on Friday, which is a homecoming game, and then we're doing a pep rally Thursday morning.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a little crazy with no school on Friday. So.
But you guys will still tailgate out here Friday night before the game?
We'll still tailgate right over here by the baseball fields, in between the two stadium practice field and the big stadium. We'll tailgate out here at 5 o'clock.
Get ready for that walkthrough. I know the boys enjoy that. It's so fun to be a part of that, to watch those kids come through and just a row of people and the cheerleaders and dance team out here. And so it's just a fun thing to be a part of. At this point in the season, the Booster Club, this Booster Club just continues to amaze me and the involvement and what they do for these boys and for this program. I know at some point it's going to come to where leaders have to be elected for next year. I know sometimes there's turnover, sometimes there's not. Some people stay in position. How does the board look and the Booster Club look as we move through almost the halfway point of this year?
Yeah, I think our board members, we had that big turnover last year. So I think most of the board members, there's a few, I think, senior parents on the board. So we'll be looking for some, and maybe some people shuffling around. So we'll be looking for new board members.
The website for you guys that people can go to and find that stuff, I'm going blank. I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Georgetown football.
GeorgetownFootball.com.
GeorgetownFootball.com.
That's what it is. And so always go to GeorgetownFootball.com. Stay up with social media. They tweet out on that as well. Coach puts stuff out, and so it's awesome to be involved. It's crazy to see the involvement in this program.
So do you have to be a parent to be involved with the Booster Club?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, not
That's
at all.
a leading question.
Oh, yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
answer, but
Yeah.
trying to get more people
Not at all,
involved
yeah.
in the Booster
I mean,
Club.
y'all come involved. And
a lot of people think that they've got to be, got to have some skin in the game. But if you drink the Kool-Aid,
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right. Yeah, I mean,
on out.
Monday nights is cool. The coaches go over highlights. That's like the highlight of my Monday. Get to the Booster Club, watch the highlights. We do a little bit of business as usual. We're usually, after the highlights, we're out of there in 20 minutes.
And it's fun to hear the freshman coach go over the freshman games
Yep.
and the players of the week and the JV coaches. And now to kind of put it in person now and see this tonight, it's kind of fun to watch this and to see this effort coming out here, knowing these kids are working towards that goal of being on that Thursday night field and that Friday night field.
I mean, it's fun. If you're truly a fan of Georgetown Eagle football, you get a sneak peek every Monday night of who's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to hear those names every week at the Booster Club, and you're like, oh, when he hits varsity, I said, you can remember that
Oh,
name.
yeah.
So it's fun.
And I think it's awesome that the coaches put themselves available.
Mm-hmm.
They come, they bring the highlights, and they allow people to ask questions if they have them. And they're Coach Griffin, quite candid and open to answer questions and to tell them, hey, we had a rough week here, but we kept fighting. And you see the transparency to, hey, this is what this program is, and we want it to be the best we can. But to make the coaches, to make themselves available is just fun to be a part of and to see it each and every week. And this Booster Club, I tell you what, they don't stop. It's amazing what you guys do. For this program and for these kids. And that's what it's all about. That's what we at SHN do because it's about highlighting these kids and watching them. Seth's going through the year. Your son's on the team. We seem to be calling his name more and more. It's just fun to see the involvement. I know at Liberty Hill they went to more schemes with more linebackers out there. Seth get more playing time. How's he enjoying this year? He's one of the young ones.
Oh, yeah, he's a young one. He's sophomore, 15 years old. So he's, he's drinking from a fire hose. But, you go from freshman football on Thursday nights to varsity Friday nights. But, no, he's doing good. He's enjoying it. Loves the new coaching staff. Loves the new defense coordinators. He loved the last ones, too. And they were great. He was bummed to see them leave, but then the new ones came in. He's like, man, these guys are good, too. So it's great.
I'm still waiting to find the player that can keep up with the energy of Coach Nicky. I don't think there is one, but
I don't think so.
It's just fun, but it's crazy how contagious that is from your coach, your defensive coordinator to come in and to watch these kids respond to it. A 15-year-old, a 16-year-old looking up and going, this grown man's crazy. But the energy that and I've heard over and over that he has in the classroom teaching to the time to invest in these young men as young men and as football players. Yeah. It's just fun, and that's what this program is just all about. It's been fun to be a part of. SHN will bring you the game live tomorrow night from the field in Pflugerville. 7 o'clock kick, 6:15 pregame. The name of the pub and grill?
Growlers.
Growlers. Tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, the tailgate with the Booster Club. Come enjoy a quick meal. Get out to the stadium for a great Friday night game. Hendrickson Hawks, the host. Thursday night game. Man,
Thursday night. Yeah,
and it throws everything off. I tell you what, I don't know what to do Friday night. I'm not going to be at football. May go drive. Mainer's taking on Vandergrift. Yeah. That's going to be a big 6A battle. Yeah, so that'll be fun to watch. Dripping Springs, my hometown, also has a big game.
Sneak peek for College Station here at Eastview.
Oh, okay.
Versus College Station. So
I may be here at Barkle Field in College Station, one of our opponents down the road.
Yeah.
That'll be good to see. And Eastview, one of the opponents down the road on October the 14th.
Yeah.
Just a quick 3 games away. After tomorrow night, 2 games away, we'll have Eastview. We'll be the visitors, but be back here at Barkle in the battle of what we always call the Battle of the San Gabriel. But thanks for joining us tonight. The Eagle Nation Coaches Show live here from Georgetown High School. JV Silver still up 7-0. They've got the ball back here in the first quarter, up 7-0 with 4 minutes remaining. JV Blue victorious 26-13. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Coach Griffin, for Logan Gegelman, for Leo Diaz, for Mr. Jimmy Warrant. Thank you so much for joining us tomorrow night live on SHN. Georgetown football against the Hendrickson Hawks. Thanks for joining us. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night.